Yes, so I will start with the timeline then. Yep. Okay. So I hope you have it in front of you. So it's there are four big things here. So we need to fit this into an hour. We need to keep pace. But I will start October 2013. So CoderDojo Lund receives 2 bad reference from a similar youth organization and an additional organization. These references would suggest Mr. Bonnier should not be taken on as a volunteer, but the organizers of Lund want to give Mr. Bonnier a chance to mentor at the dojo. So Mr. Bonnier begins at the dojo.
Okay. But which are these 2 organizations and what did they write?
Yeah, the organizations, actually this is a very special case because I get a call from Mattecentrum and I get a call from a parent who has been involved in the Datorföreningen at the Lund Technical University. That's not what you call it, Lund Institute of Technology.
Mm-hmm.
So this is an exceptional case. This has never happened before, that we get negative feedback from people actually calling. That has never happened before and after this.
Yeah,
and at this point, you must realize, I don't know you, Michael. I don't know you. So I get 2 people calling, and we also Google you.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is what happens.
But this organization, Dataföreningen, DS, it's not a youth. I mean, it's an organization for students. They are above.
Yes, it's not the youth. It doesn't say. It says youth.
Very strange that the parent calls for a organization for adults. I mean,
an additional. Yes, this is the additional organization. It doesn't say a youth organization.
Yeah.
So Mattecentrum.
It's strange that the parent calls about an organization that is not a youth organization.
Yeah, Mikael, if I just jump in there, so it's just a reference, and also Robert has written a youth organization and another organization, so that's just very semantic. So
but this is new to me. And what did this parent say?
This is not news to you. I told you in the phone call we had in June in conjunction with complaint call.
Yeah, but I didn't know this that it was from Dataföreningen. I only assumed it was from Mattecentrum.
Well,
but what did this parent say? I mean,
the information I got is that you had been excluded from both of these organizations, and I don't know why, but I was told that.
But the other Mattecentrum, we know it was because they wanted us to sign a contract, and I wanted to have a lawyer to check this first.
Michael, I didn't know you at this time. I have 2 references, and I can Google you, or a mentor Google you, and we get negative feedback. But still, I decide to get you in.
But this other organization that I was excluded from, it was because I posted the mails to PhD students in Sweden, and
I don't see how that is.
Yeah. Michael, maybe
I can't evaluate that.
Maybe we can move on to the next point of the timeline, because as it is, basically what Robert's saying is they got 2 references, which weren't great, and then he gave you a chance to mentor at the dojo. So maybe we will move on to the next point, and then at the end you can make a case.
I talked to other mentors, and I was the only one deciding to give you a chance, because I know that could be spurious. Okay, let's move on. 8th of April. I received a DM from CodeCentrum, which is an affiliate organization with Mattecentrum. And here you are disparaging CodeCentrum, and you're recommending CoderDojo instead. So there are two parts. Disparaging Code Central, well, that's not my business, but instead recommending CoderDojo that puts CoderDojo in a strange position. And I decide, well...
No, but I do not say I'm a mentor, and also this... what I complained about was that they received money from the taxpayers, and they have very little... they had a very small...
that is
10 people that they was mentoring. I mean, a very small thing, and they received millions.
You have seen the DM, and I only respond to what they say, and I defend you.
Yes.
I state that you have the right to express your thoughts, and I say also that, which was not in the screen dump, but I say that most of our mentors are open to cooperating with Code Central. So I defend you, and I let this be. So,
yes, but I could also cooperate with Code Central, but it was at that time they didn't even respond to my request to become a member.
Okay, I only respond to what I get.
Now I am a member there.
Yeah, that's okay. But I see as my role to respond to what I get on Facebook, and this is not good. But I defend you, and this is it's close for me. I don't care. Late last year, I will read here. Mr. Bonnier is aggressive via email regarding the invitation and active promotion of the dojo to local refugee teenagers.
I'm not aggressive. I don't know what you mean by that. I mean...
let me read the statement, and now let's get back. The code is... did we lose someone from the call?
I'm still here. Pete is still here.
Yep.
I'm still here.
Yeah.
Rosa. Maybe
there was some beep. Yeah.
I'm here still.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
And
maybe Olof disappeared.
Let's see if he calls in.
Yeah, we can just continue on, and then and then if he does,
active promotion to local refugee teenagers. The CoderDojo ethos and charter is communicated to Mr. Bonnier. Yep. Welcome back. The CoderDojo ethos and charter is communicated to Mr. Bonnier and all mentors to make it eminently clear that inviting youth, regardless of background, ethnicity, or citizenship, is fully in line with this. There is some disagreement about this ethos from Mr. Bonnier. Yes, you are aggressive in that.
I'm not aggressive. I don't know what you mean by that.
Okay. When you write in your mail that you consider me putting you at risk, your safety at risk, this is, I consider this aggressive because you keep repeating it and you try to address this problem in email, even though you know that it cannot be resolved by email. You need to talk to me.
Well, we had, it was more, you sent out an email, so therefore I answered with an email. You didn't say anything when we had the refugees there, and I didn't complain then. I would help them if they needed my help.
That is
because
correct.
I help anyone. Also, in this matter centrum, I was active for 3 years.
That is not, I don't see how that is relevant.
But also, yes, it is relevant, but also then I helped refugees. But I also didn't know they were refugees. But it was also not here talking about refugees, it was asylum seekers. They have not been passed as, they have not been accepted as refugees. So, they are just asylum seekers. So they are...
So the
that's why
either way, whether they're refugees or asylum seekers, we should be fully inclusive and be including them in our activities. CoderDojo is there to be fully inclusive and free to attend for all. So I think the distinguishing factor there is really important in this context.
But we don't know what they did before. I mean, they might have been criminals in whatever country they came from, and now they just arrive here 1 hour after our
as we spoke about in the last call, for young people who are attending, background checks are not necessary and reference checks are not necessary, but within the club, you should have your own behavioral code. So if young people, for example, were to act out or make any other young people or volunteers feel unsafe, then that's a case in which you should act. But prior to someone joining, you should not be exclusive, and it should be fully inclusive and let all young people join, regardless of their background. And I think we went over this in the last call, so.
Yes, but there have been planned terror attacks. I mean, this was discussed right after this killing in France. That would kill 140 people, and they had about the same age.
This is irrelevant. It doesn't say here.
They had about the same age. So we could have a situation where we have a planned attack against the CoderDojo, and we have a lot of.
Michael, that is not in the document.
Yeah, that's a very generalized assumption.
Yes, but this situation I was thinking about.
Michael, our homepage says youth 7 to 17. We cannot check the age of people, but of course we can question them if they appear to be very much older. Otherwise, it says youth 7 to 17. It doesn't say anything about anything else. If you have a handicap, if you're blind, it doesn't say. So
they have to book the place before, don't they? Or can they just, because we have a limited number of seats?
They have to. Yeah, that is correct. They have to book.
And we would have to check if they are booked or not.
Yes, I do that via the Eventbrite app. We must move on because we have only 1 hour. But we have late June 2016. Complaint is received. Yeah, this is a bit longer, so let's take one paragraph at a time. Complaint is received by the CoderDojo Foundation concerning the inclusiveness of a volunteer at CoderDojo Lund and CoderDojo Lund. Champion Robert is contacted by the Foundation 1st of July. It is Robert's understanding that this may be in connection with Mr. Bonnier. Here it doesn't say, but I know nothing about the statement. I know only the web page referred to, and I, of course, don't know the name of who has been submitting this. But this is standard procedure for CoderDojo.
Yeah.
Okay, next paragraph. Mr. Bonnier and Robert have a first phone call one-on-one, 3rd July. And Mr. Bonnier shows low engagement. So this means, well, you are reluctant to have this call.
But this call was 22:14 on a Sunday, and I started. I had to wake up 6:30.
Okay.
So I don't think that's very why I would have a long discussion when I have to sleep.
No, but this is about having a call with Foundation. So this is regarding the subject matter.
This call lasted 28 minutes, 18 seconds.
Okay. I don't have the call.
I informed you directly that I had to go to bed. And the reason it took so long time was that we wanted to book a personal meeting. And I could only meet him during lunch. And then we booked the meeting, but then he canceled it during the call. So I think it was just a test to see if he could meet me. And it was just a waste of time. So it was uncool behavior, which is not allowed in a CoderDojo context. And then he called me again, 18:45 on Monday. But this was planned, I think. Also 33 minutes, 32 seconds.
So, Michael, I don't have the call logs. For some reason,
I have call logs.
My home phone doesn't have call logs. So there could be errors in this in my timeline. I've done my absolute best, but so let's see. Yep. So 3rd of July, yes. So, but you agree 3rd of July, yeah. But still, it doesn't say here, but
Yeah, 3rd of July you called me, 22:14.
Yep, okay, yep. Yep. So, okay, thank you. But, yeah. So Robert, so I call you and shows low engagement. And by this this means, maybe it should say, that you really think this is frivolous and we shouldn't talk to foundation at all.
No, I only mean that I cannot. I thought perhaps I don't. I only saw that it was a number in Lund, so I thought it might be something interesting. But then I didn't expect such a long call.
Olof here. Apparently there is a different understanding on how this was the outcome, but I think what is in the list is Robert's interpretation of it, and perhaps that's if you just say that this is how you interpreted it, Robert.
Yeah, and regardless as well,
yes.
I think it is important when a statement or a query or a complaint has been filed. It should be followed up and it should be treated as serious until it is discussed. So.
Yes, but that's why I accepted this lunch meeting the day after, and then that was cancelled, and then I think we then decided that he should call me in the evening, and that he did.
Okay.
But you also have to take in mind that I've been up since 6:30, and then it calls me 18:45, so I'm rather late in the day for me.
Okay. Robert,
yes.
would you like to continue?
Yep. So, okay. So Robert lets Mr. Bonnier know that even though this might be a frivolous complaint, there is a no missing. This might be a frivolous complaint. It must be handled professionally by both champion and mentor, as required by CoderDojo policy. Mr. Bonnier is informed of the previous complaints. On this first call, Mr. Bonnier implicitly acknowledges that he is the owner of the blog that had arisen in the complaint.
No, I never said that I wrote the blog post.
No, you didn't object to saying. I said this.
I said that directly.
Olof here, stiff that. Apparently, I think just saying that someone implicitly owns a blog post. Let's just say that was Robert's impression, and I think that might be the right way to handle it.
Well,
yeah, that was my impression.
But this was. We didn't discuss that much about blog posts in this first call on 3rd July because we mostly discussed how we should meet. And then it was in the second call on the 4th of July, 1845, that we discussed this. You tried to ask me several times who wrote this blog post, and I would never answer this. I only said this that I have linked to it in a private conversation on Facebook.
Okay, so that, okay. Yep, so the first call was on the 3rd of July, but okay, yep. So it could be that there is, there are two calls, and then I have, yeah, and then I stand corrected. Regarding the timing, but not the content. When on the 5th July call with the CoderDojo Foundation and Robert, Mr. Bonnier unclear and disputes that he wrote an article in the complaint, but had admitted to sharing the article. On the call, the importance of inclusivity and the CoderDojo ethos was stressed.
Well, I didn't share it like you share articles on Facebook on your home page. It was only linked as a comment in a discussion. As a private discussion, because he posted something about something, and then I answered this, and I included that link, and this was only posted for his friends.
And and we still, and here at this point, we agree that this is a frivolous complaint, and we don't talk about the content of the blog post. It's just that how frivolous this is. I mean, if you didn't even write it, or I mean, if it's totally out of the blue. That was what I tried to understand here.
Yes, because this person only has read this link for me. I think it was this guy in this discussion.
Yes. And we didn't, yeah. Next paragraph. On a second call with Robert. Yeah. So here my timing, 5th to 6th July. Then I stand corrected that this was the 4th of July then. So this is not correct. This should be 4th of July, and it should be before the call with the foundation.
Okay.
So I don't have call logs, and I stand corrected by Mr. Bonnier. So, but that is it's only the timing that changes. Yeah. So this should be 4th of July evening.
That's okay. Yeah.
Yep. So Mr. Bonnier is still being vague on writing the blog post and as he is uncooperative. Mr. Bonnier accuses the champion of violating a specific law. No, that is later. So the first sentence here is 4th of July. And this accusation of violating a specific law, that happens after the call with CoderDojo Foundation.
Yes, it was in a mail. But I didn't really, I said, here,
yeah.
Well, the law was mentioned in the mail, but I did also say in the mail that it didn't apply, but it would for a government organization.
No.
So it is that you do not. No, I have the mail still, and I can look it up, and you can see that I said it only applied for government organizations. So I didn't accuse you of breaking any laws. But I think that CoderDojo tries to be a kind of non-gov organization, and they should be almost like a government organization. So they should also.
That's totally your input.
They should also not. Those should also not try to find sources for journalists' information.
That is your that is your interpretation. That is. Yep. Okay, so so the first sentence on a second call, that should be corrected to July evening.
July 4.
I stand corrected, and then we have the sentence: Mr. Bonnier accuses the champion of violating. Yes, that happens in mail, and that is after a meeting, and that mail has been shared with everyone involved. But before that,
I've not received that mail, but I can send it to anyone who wants to read it.
Yep.
Hello?
Yes.
Is everything okay?
So, also in the second call, yes, this is also 4th of July evening. Mr. Bonnier again is informed of the previous complaints and that he had been given a fair chance, but it would not be appropriate for him to continue as a volunteer. Mr. Bonnier states he might take a voluntary timeout. He is informed that his equipment will be returned, and he is also offered a spare Raspberry Pi, which is declined.
I would like to say something now. I think this is partly true and partly untrue. Which is true is that it was on Monday, July 4, and I was never informed that I should not continue as a mentor until August 11. When I got the mail about the router had been sent, which I was surprised by, and asked why. And this call on, could I continue? In this call on July 4, I only respected the fact that Robert Stolin was the champion of the dojo. And if he doesn't want me there, I cannot, of course, not come. But this we agreed would depend on CoderDojo Foundation decision. And I think CoderDojo that looks out mentors for no good reason should not be allowed to keep the CoderDojo trademark. And I think Robert Stolin should be able to do what he does, if you can follow the laws for youth organizations, which are also a question here.
This is not in the paragraph.
We should not be allowed to use the CoderDojo trademark. He offered to send back the router, but I declined since it needed in order to connect the pipes to internet. It uses Tomato and shares internet Wi-Fi via Ethernet cables. I was a bit upset by him wanting to give away Dojo property as a pipe to me for no reason. And Robert does not mention that this discussion was about the planned phone meeting with CoderDojo Foundation, and that it was their decision we would await. After that call with CoderDojo Foundation, it seemed obvious that I should continue. So I was very surprised then on August 11th.
This Raspberry Pi was mine. I bought. So I don't know where you get that from, Michael. That it was Dojo.
It was given to the CoderDojo by some donor for Raspberry Pis, and then we exchanged. You bought, but then we exchanged. So you got one home, and we have this new one.
I bought better and newer Raspberry. I took the old one to use as a print server. So that was my property.
Yes, I don't.
Sorry, guys, Olof here. I think this is right time to guys have in ownership of one simple time.
Yes, I think this is kind of that's not really relevant right here. One thing I would like to cover as well is that as a champion of the dojo, it is Robert's responsibility to address the concerns he has or he may experience in running the dojo, as we have stated to Michael in an email. And it is also his responsibility to make necessary decisions using his best judgment while following the CoderDojo ethos to run. So, at the end of the day, it is Michael's decision. We discussed and followed up to inquire and investigate his decision, and so that's where it's kind of supported his decision and asking you question this. So just for clarify, that's where.
Peter, just one thing. You said that it was Michael's decision. Was that the right Swedish name, or was it?
Pardon? As the champion of the dojo, it's Robert's responsibility to address the running of the dojo.
Thank you.
Oh, apologies if I'm not loud enough there. I'll move closer to my microphone. So, Robert, if you'd like to continue.
Yes. So and it doesn't say in. So, just to clarify this, informed of the previous complaint. So that is basically the whole prehistory. So this is the first time where Michael gets to know that I have been the only person accepting him into the dojo. The backstory is he has not been shared because I want to protect the integrity of mentors as well as participants.
Okay.
After the meeting, so then we have after the meeting with CoderDojo, we have this paragraph called Mr. Borneo accuses the champion of violating a specific law, which is not applicable in this instance, as he had Googled Mr. Borneo to try to find out the truth about the owner of the blog. And this is in the mail. So, based on previous consultation with other mentors in the dojo, Robert as the champion decides to not invite Mr. Borneo back to volunteer due to taking into consideration the references from other organizations and the incidents of untrustworthy, disruptive and uncooperative behavior while he had been a volunteer at the dojo.
I would like to comment.
This is not in the sessions. This is between mentors. So it's Michael has done a good job in the sessions.
But I was not informed about this decision until August 11, and I had no plans on quitting. The base for the decision is false and contradicts the earlier statements. He has done a great job in the dojo. He says I'm untrustworthy because I don't want to reveal the author of a blog I linked to. I have no idea what he refers to when he calls me disruptive, because I'm always calm. For example, at the same time he said I was disruptive, I got an A in my course in health pedagogy. He says I'm uncooperative for the same reason that he says I'm untrustworthy.
Mikhail, so just coming into that, so yes, you can be a really good mentor. This is just, hypothetically speaking, there are volunteers who are brilliant mentors and work well with kids, but do not get along with other volunteers, and that can be a problem in itself. And that is
but
the reason.
We have not had any conflicts between mentors.
Yes, this is a hypothetical situation, but that person, volunteers can still not be suitable, even if they're really good at working with the young people. In some ways, some volunteers may not be a right fit, and it might be, on both sides. Sometimes a volunteer does not feel like they're the right fit either. So
let me add.
But I want to say the serious thing I think here is that I would not be allowed to start a new CoderDojo. I mean, I can understand that whatever reason he can refer to personal chemistry or whatever, he can say that I'm not welcome as a mentor. But then I should be able to start a new CoderDojo if I want to.
That is not part of this document. Let's stick to the document first. So.
Yeah, Robert, do you want to continue?
Yeah. So we have the final sentence. After the champion's vacation, the router is returned, having heard nothing more from Mr. Bonnier. So basically, we had talked through this already before the CoderDojo meeting, and that all the facts, and that I would that Michael had lost my patience because I was the only one remaining in the dojo to protect him. So now that he had not been cooperating, we discussed what he should have back and stuff.
I thought, I did write a message in this CoderDojo's Google group for Lund, and I got the mail about him sending the router, and it was when I asked about this that I was informed about the decision. So I didn't know about this decision, but I also knew that I was going a course then, and then I got this job, which is very long commuting, so I wouldn't have time to go this half year anyway.
Right, would you like?
Yeah, that could be true. I don't know. It's I don't know. It's just to two things which are not written here. We decided to keep this. I decided to keep this short and not to make it any wordier than it already is. But I'm sure Mr. Bonnier understands that in the late 2015 email, that is where he lost the confidence of all mentors, but all but one. So there I got questions and we had discussions. So already there was I had some thoughts of excluding Mr. Bonnier. And with the late June incident, I'm sure he confirmed that he's not a team player.
Okay.
Well, I don't know what you mean I should do as a team player. I mean, okay, you mean I should say who wrote the blog, but
no, that's not. There was no blog. There was no blog in late 2015. There was only long emails about my evilness and risking your life. And this is where I'm
not risking my life, or risking the life of the kids.
that is hard to read from. That is subject to interpretation of your mails. But anyway, this is where you have confidence of all mentors.
So maybe I could just jump in here. I think that kind of concludes the full report on your side, Robert. Mikael, if you have any outstanding questions.
Yes, it is why I should not be allowed to start a new CoderDojo.
So that's probably on our side. So, Mikael, you contacted us after about the CoderDojo in Lund, and as you felt like you'd been unfairly dismissed. We had been speaking to Robert, and we did not agree that, or we agreed with his conclusion that as the champion of the dojo, he has the right to do that, to make the decisions that impact on his dojo. For us, in setting up a dojo, it's really important that we have the right people who are CoderDojo champions. Those people are the main point of contact for us. And throughout our contact with yourself, Mikael, and also because we've already received a complaint, it's very difficult for us to say that we would be happy with letting you start a dojo. In general, that is how volunteer organizations work. We respond to references, to complaints, and we ensure that the people who are volunteering for CoderDojo are fully appropriate. So from what we have heard thus far, we did not feel like you were appropriate to start a dojo. And it sounds also like maybe you're too busy right now anyway to do that with your new job, if I'm correct.
Yes, but it could be changed.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's great. Thank you so much as well for the time that you put in as a volunteer. But right now, considering the background of this, we would consider that it wouldn't be appropriate for you to start a dojo straight away.
I mean, it means anyone who even hints at criticizing Islam is not allowed to start a dojo.
No, it's not about
because then people from this religion will send you mails and accuse them of being Islamophobic and stuff like that.
That's Can I just
when they only criticize the Quran.
Island, please, if I understood it correctly, what the problem is now is that there is only negative references to in relation to Michael, and if there were a number of positive references, would you handle it as well? Would you handle it differently then?
Yes, but there are positive references because I have a lot of positive references when I apply for jobs, of course.
Of course, but that's in a different context. So,
No, it's as a school teacher, so it's the same kind of job.
So some of the, the references and the contacts and stuff like that Robert has kind of experienced,
But they said here he has done a great job in the dojo. That is good reference.
So that's kind of what we've been kind of going off, and I think definitely it is, that's just the way it is.
And Mikael, if I might add as well, as a champion, you would have to agree to the CoderDojo Charter, which is the Charter of Ethics and the ethos of CoderDojo, which is also to be fully inclusive. And some of the things that have been mentioned even on this call about the distinguishing factors about asylum seekers and refugees, that would not be considered inclusive.
They were not the refugees; they were asylum seekers. But maybe you said that.
Yes, I did say asylum seekers there. Yes. So what we would consider as inclusive would be to include all young people who are between the ages of even younger than 7. It's fine as long as they're 18 and under. Then that is who attends CoderDojo. And in some instances, we even have young people who maybe have learning disabilities who attend CoderDojo slightly older than 18. It's all about the scenario and it's all about being inclusive. And I don't feel that the CoderDojo Foundation would feel very comfortable in, even if you did sign the charter, that you would run a fully inclusive dojo at this stage.
Well, I would, but yeah.
That's just the main, and maybe that will change.
We take in large groups of people that have just arrived here 1 hour. I mean, that could be.
Regardless, all young people should have the opportunity to learn how to code and be creative in a safe and sociable environment, and that is what our core mission is around the world. And that is the one thing, and it's the main overarching mission of CoderDojo. And if we do not feel like a champion, and that may be for many different reasons, can provide a safe and social environment for all young people, then we do not think that they should be a CoderDojo champion.
Yes, but I do so in my daily work. I provide a safe and good environment for everyone.
Yeah, but
of course, in normal schools, we don't have asylum seekers from the first day they arrive here. I mean, they are here or checked somewhere.
I guess that was the difference. If it is a CoderDojo, the kids have that opportunity, and it's great for them to have that opportunity, regardless of whether they're asylum seekers or not.
So if they arrive on day one, they should be.
Covers Rose's initial point on the CoderDojo ethos of being fully inclusive.
But I don't think they will do that in practice. I mean, they don't take in refugees from day one, or asylum seekers from day one.
It's different to be open to all people, and sometimes it does take greater effort to reach out to those communities. And sometimes from day one, it's very difficult whenever you're already strained in terms of volunteers to do that initially. And it's also about building relationships. I mean, in more disadvantaged communities, often it requires more of a relationship upkeep and to keep those young people in a CoderDojo for a long period of time. So it's about being open and inclusive. And also, yes, that outreach is really important, but we understand that sometimes that puts a strain on volunteers from the beginning.
Could I just add a short note here?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So as a champion, I'm very happy that we have actually been able to have microservices during 2.5 years. That's very good. He has done a very good when viewing the dojos, but he has lost the confidence of the other mentors and my confidence also due to the way he has acted. But in the CoderDojos, he has done a very good job. But there are two parts, really. You must be a team player also.
Maybe at this point, Mikael, do you have any other queries or concerns? Because otherwise...
Yes, I think this is very wrong, that I should not be allowed to start the new CoderDojo.
It's just standard practice, Mikael. We do have to assess the appropriateness of a single volunteer and mentor who applies to be a CoderDojo champion, or and we encourage CoderDojo champions to do the same due diligence.
But another case, what if I join another existing CoderDojo? Is that okay?
Mikael, I would not be. I mean, it's up to each dojo to make their decision on whether they're going to accept you. So you can absolutely go ahead and apply. But I would state to you again that if you want to apply to be a CoderDojo mentor or volunteer, you must have a fully open and inclusive approach to it, and be prepared to reach out and to mentor with people from all types of religions, nationalities, races, and be fully open and inclusive, because
I do that already in my daily work.
But also for asylum seekers and refugees. So I think that is a really important thing, is that all volunteers for CoderDojo, and the reason why people become a volunteer for CoderDojo, because I know that you're very passionate about young people getting an education, but one of the main reasons that people become a volunteer for CoderDojo is so that all young people can have the opportunity to learn how to code. And all young people that does not exclude anyone.
Yes, so, I think that we should also think about the safety of the kids in the dojo.
Completely, and that's
why they could have very traumatic experiences if they are.
Yes, but you should not exclude them prior to them joining.
Older.
It should be about behavioral, based on the behavior in the dojo. So, you should have, set rules, and sometimes, so being cool, like not being cool is bullying, lying, wasting people's time. Those kinds of, that is a behavioral guideline for young people. And you can ask for a young person to leave a CoderDojo. It's a volunteer-led effort.
Mm-hmm. We have never had
predetermined that. Yeah.
We have asked participants to not do gaming and not do just YouTubing. So we often tell them that please stick to, well, if you made it, you can play it, or what do you say?
Exactly, that's a really good motto.
Yeah, but we have never excluded any, or we have told people not to run about and obstruct or be in the way of others, because some people have, or some kids have problems sitting down.
Yeah,
but nothing. And
exactly, and that's the way it should be, and hopefully, I personally haven't really heard of any young people being excluded from CoderDojo for behavioral reasons, and hopefully, because of the environment that CoderDojo creates as an open and inclusive space, that's why it's happening. But yes, if it does occur, that's what can happen. Mikael, is there any other points you'd like to speak about? We've a little bit more time.
Well, I think, some of these are kind of like, you call it label. It's libelous. Some of these things here that they say I'm disruptive and things like that, untrustworthy and uncooperative. I think that's libelous, and I would, report that to the police.
Go ahead.
I don't think that's really a reportable offense at the minute.
Mikael, is there any other questions you have, or are you happy to finish this call? Because I feel like we've went over most of the points in the timeline, and Robert has given an explanation, and it has been obviously a build-up of different events in the dojo that has made him really confident.
I don't think this should stand as a final document, because it says here it shows low engagement in a phone call at 22:14. That's
so
yes, I think it should firstly say the time when I was called, and then it should say that he had to wake up early in the morning and he didn't have time to have this conversation at this time.
Okay, Mikael, do you want to send through the accurate dates for the call log? But what we're going to do is actually close this report.
The only way I could show the call log is by photographing it with another phone.
Yes, so you said you had told us the dates earlier. If you just send those through via email, we'll change the report and up-to-date it, and then file it. I don't think it's necessary for us to have another call, because I think that we've went over all the points. But if you do have any other
I think that my comments should be in the final document. So, for instance, when you say I'm aggressive regarding local refugee teenagers, it's not true, because we were not talking about refugees or teenagers below 18. We're talking about asylum seekers that could be any.
Yeah, we would log all the emails and stuff like that. So the conversation is there. That kind of timeline is a very quick summary of that.
Is that okay, Mikael? So if you send through the call logs, then we can update it. But I think pretty much this is closed now. as a matter. But if anyone, whether it's Olaf, Robert, Mikael, you can all get in contact with Pete and I at any time if anything else arises. And we're happy to have a call or talk to you by email, whatever works.
Okay. Yep.
Perfect.
Olaf,
Great.
do you have any? Sorry, just before we go, Olaf, do you have any points there or anything? Because I want to make sure that everyone kind of.
But
no,
I mean, there are positive references, and I can send them in if you want to.
Okay. Go ahead there, Olaf.
No, I don't think. I think we have well. There has been. I think this conversation has. You have completed this conversation in a good way. So I don't have anything to add. Thank you.
Okay. Well, I guess I thank you all for the call and for taking the time today. As Rosa said, I would repeat, if there's any other questions or anything you'd like to discuss with either of us, we're always here. So thank you. Yes,
thank you for your time, all of you.
Yep, thank you, and have a nice weekend.
Yep.
Thank you. Bye now.
Bye-bye.
Bye.